there, Jonny May here, and welcome to this week's quick tip where I'm going to teach you 3 intros that you can use when you're playing jazz piano. Now, do you ever start playing a jazz tune and you can't think of a really cool intro for that tune? Well, this is a common struggle for jazz pianists. And so one of the best ways around this is to actually memorize what are called stock jazz intros. These are jazz intros that work on lots of different jazz tunes, and in today's lesson, I'm going to teach you 3 of my favorite ones. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, our first intro is called a stock jazz swing intro, and it works on just about any jazz swing tune, and it sounds like this. Actually super easy to play. So what am I doing? Well, I'm basically hitting this G on the bottom. We call this a pedal point. And then in the right hand, I'm only hitting 4 chords. They're really simple to play. So the first chord is called a C6, really simple. The second chord is a very fancy A7 chord, and I'm gonna play it like this, okay? The technical name of this chord is called A7 flat 13, flat 9, but don't worry about the name of this chord. It'll make sense over time as you learn jazz theory. Third chord, D minor 7, okay, pretty simple chord there. And then the final chord, very jazzy G7 chord. This is called a G13. It's a very cool way, very colorful way of playing a G7 chord. Okay, so these are your 4 chords, C6, A7, D minor 7, and then G13. Okay, really nice. Now you want to add a little bit of rhythm to these chords, so I like to play it like this. Okay, real simple rhythm. I grab that G on the bottom, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. That's super nice. And then another cool thing you can do is a little roll up to the G. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm rolling up E, F, F sharp, G, and then I go to my chord punches. Okay, so here's the full rhythm. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3. And notice I did a roll up on the second measure before the D minor chord. Does that make sense? So here's the rhythm really slowly. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. And notice that roll comes in before the downbeat. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2. So on 1, you're going to be hitting that G. Okay? So this intro works really well on a jazz swing tune. So let's say you wanted to play an intro on Cheek to Cheek. Well, you could use this intro. The key is that this intro works on a tune if that tune is in the key of C major. All right, let's talk about intro number 2, but before I teach you this intro, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. All right, intro number 2 is an amazing intro because it works on a jazz ballad. And let's say you were playing a tune like The Way You Look Tonight, and you wanted to play a little run up the piano before you start the tune. Well, you can use this intro, which I call a stock ballad intro, and it sounds like this. Isn't that gorgeous? So what did I just play? Well, we're playing this ballad in the key of C major, and so what I did is I played a really beautiful run on a G7 chord. And this is the 5 chord in the key of C. But I did not just play an ordinary G7 chord up the piano. I played a really fancy version of a G7 chord, which is what you're going to learn here, okay? So the first thing to do is to play this chord. This is a G7 chord, kind of spread out, but we're adding some really cool notes. We're adding an A flat and an E. Okay, the technical name of this chord is G13 flat 9, but again, don't worry too much about the naming. It will make sense over time. So that's the first thing. Grab the chord, and then we're going to play this run up the piano. And so for the run, here's what I'm doing. I'm taking the notes from this chord, and I'm going to put the F on the top, and I'm going to play the black note with my left hand index finger, or you could use the 3rd finger, okay? And so you're going to play these notes all the way up the piano like this. Okay? That's kind of basically what we're doing, and you're going to end on the A flat. And once you're able to do that, then you want to build a little speed. Isn't that beautiful? And so as you speed it up, you can get a nice smooth sound. Now for this intro, it works really well if you're playing a tune in the key of C, and that's because this particular chord, G7, is setting up a C major chord, which is usually the first chord of the tune. By the way, if you want to learn more runs just like this, you can in our jazz intro and outro runs course over at pianowithjonny.com. You'll learn 6 of my favorite runs, how to increase your speed on your runs, and how to use them on different jazz standards. So I'll put a link to that below. All right, the third intro is one of my favorite stock intros to use on a Latin jazz tune. It sounds like this. Gorgeous. And this intro works really well on Latin jazz tunes like Girl from Ipanema. All right, so what am I playing in this intro? Well, I'm basically playing a very fancy version of the turnaround chord progression in the key of C. The turnaround chord progression in the key of C is a 1-6-2-5 chord progression, or it could be 3-6-2-5. And so if you're playing in the key of C major, the 3 chord, you could play as an E7, the 6 chord, A7, the 2 chord, D7, and then the 5 chord G7, okay? And so these are really nice chords to set up a tune that starts in the key of C major, but I'm not just playing ordinary 7th chords, I'm really coloring them with some really nice passing tones, okay? So first chord, what the heck am I doing here? Well, I'm playing what's called an E13 sus4. Isn't that gorgeous? E, A, D, F sharp, C sharp, and E. Okay, so that's my starting point. And then I resolve this down to an E7 with a flat 13. Okay? And then I go to my A chord. Okay, this is an A9 sus4. And then I resolve it to an A7 chord with a flat 13 and a flat 9. And then I do the same pattern on my D. This is a D13 sus4 chord. Okay. You can slide that B if you want. We're going to resolve this to a D9 with a flat 13. And then we go to a beautiful G9 sus4. And then we resolve this to this chord. This is a G13 with a flat 9. By the way, I wanted to mention that you can download the lesson sheet music for this lesson. You can also change the key of the entire lesson with the click of one button with our smart sheet music. So I'll put a link to that below. Now the rhythm of this really matters because you want to play this in a bossa nova style or a Latin jazz style. So the rhythm I like to play goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the lesson, be sure to check out pianowithjonny.com. We have over 1,000 step-by-step lessons for all playing levels where you'll learn your favorite songs, styles, and how to improvise at the piano. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.